afternoon. I'm TiTi Tracy, and I'm excited to read stories with you for this week. If you didn't know, it's Read Across America Week. And during this week, all across America, we read stories. Well, we read stories every week, right? But this week, we do a lot of reading. And when I say a lot of reading, I mean a lot of reading. How many books do you think you would like to read over this week? 10? 30? Maybe 100? Wow, that would be great. And you don't just have to read all the books by yourself. Somebody can read with you, because this is Read Across America Week, where people of all ages are doing all kinds of reading. It doesn't have to be a hardback book or a book that you can hold in your hand. It could be a book maybe that you're using your computer to read through. Yeah, or maybe you could sit through an actual recording like you're doing right now and listen to a story. But it's Read Across America Week, so we want everybody to read. Now, you might still be wondering, what is Read Across America Week all about? Well, there was an author by the name of Dr. Seuss. Have you heard of Dr. Seuss? Is Dr. Seuss a medical doctor? Does he check your eyes? Does he check your tongue and your tonsils? Does he check your feet and your toes? No. Dr. Seuss was an author. He wrote many children's books. And so this book that I'm going to read to you today is actually dedicated to the great Dr. Seuss. This book is titled Wild About Books by Judy Sierra. Pictures by Mark Brown. Wild About Books. Let me tell you something. I was looking for where she actually said she dedicated it to Dr. Seuss. And there it is. Okay. This book is for our favorite doctor, artist, poet, fun concoctor, Theodore Seuss Giselle. And his birthday was yesterday, March 2nd. So that means today is what? That's right, March 3rd. Wild About Books by Judy Sierra. Pictures by Mark Brown. Pictures by Mark Brown. It started the summer of 2002 when the Springfield librarian, Molly McGrew, by mistake, drove her bookmobile into the zoo. Molly opened the door and she let down the stair, turned on the computer, and sat in her chair. At first, all the animals watched from a distance, but Molly could conquer the strongest resistance. By reading aloud from the good Dr. Seuss, she quickly attracted a mink and a moose, a wombat, an oryx, a lemur, a lynx, 8 elephant calves, and a family of skinks. You see those skinks crawling there on the ground? They're all interested in what she's reading. And there's a blue book with a fish in a fishbowl, and I see a big word that says bump. She's reading aloud from the good Dr. Seuss. In a flash, every beast in the zoo was stampeding to learn all about this something called reading. Forsaking their niches, their nests, and their nooks, they would wild, simply wild about wonderful books, choosing thin books and fat books and cat in the hat books and new books and true books and heaps of how-to books. Giraffes wanted tall books, and crickets craved small books, while geckos could only read stick-to-the-wall books. The pandas demanded more books in Chinese. Molly filled their request, always eager to please. She even found waterproof books for the otter, who never went swimming without Harry Potter. Raccoons read aloud, and baboons ran in bunches. And llamas read dramas while eating their lunches. It's a good book. Hyenas shared jokes with red-bellied snakes, and they howled and they hissed till their funny bones ached. A tree kangaroo who adored Nancy Drew began solving mysteries right there at the zoo, such as why the bandicoot's books were overdue. Can you see why the books are overdue? What's the bandicoot doing?
He is building a hut.
He's building? Look closely at his face. What is he doing right over there?
Sleeping.
He's sleeping. And because he's sleeping, he can't even turn his books back into the library. Gently, Molly taught lessons in treating books right. For the boa constrictor squeezed critter too tight. Baby bunnies munched up Goodnight Moon with their paws. They mucked it up. Giant termites devoured The Wizard of Oz. Are we supposed to be eating books?
No.
Are we supposed to step on the books and get them all dirty?
No.
No. And we're not supposed to bend them in ways that they're not supposed to be bent. And Bear's love of books was completely outrageous. They licked all the pictures right off of the pages. Oh my goodness. She got to tell them right. Tasmanian devils found books so exciting that soon they had given up fighting for writing. They made up adventures so thrilling and new that the others decided to be authors too. Pythons wrote with their tails. Penguins wrote with their bills. And porcupines wrote with their very own quills. At the new insect zoo, bugs were scribbling haiku. The scorpion gave each a stinging review. Pretentious. Stinks. Boring. Redundant. All right, so let's see why he thought this was pretentious. It says, a cannibal twig silently devours a leaf, eating, not eaten. The dung beetle said, roll a ball of dung, any kind of poo will do, baby beetle bed. I dig for treasure in my enchanted castle, a rotten apple. Hiss, 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 hiss. He's saying the same thing over and over again. That's why the scorpion said that was redundant. As the cheetah's new novel began to take shape, he read chapters each night to the Barbary ape. And although the gazelle couldn't spell very well, like everyone else, she had stories to tell. Imagine the hippo's enormous surprise when her memoir was given the Zulitzer Prize. With so many new books, Molly knew what to do. She hired 12 beavers, a stork, and a gnu to build a branch library there at the zoo. Then the animals cried, we can do it ourselves. We can check the books out. We can put them on shelves. And they did, and they do, up to this very day. 3 cheers for the zoobrary. Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! When you visit the zoo now, you surely won't mind if the animals seem just a bit hard to find. They're snug in their niches, their nest and their nooks, going wild, simply wild, about wonderful books. The end. Do you go wild about books? I know I do. Pick up your next book and share it to me. Thank you. Thank you for watching.